Hi, welcome everybody. Nice to see everybody in the chat. We've got Stanislav here, we've got Josh, Mathieu, Blue Priest, Bit Crypto. Hi everybody, thanks for your time. As most of you know, I've taken on the role of leading Bitcoin.com as the CEO. Super excited to do this at this great time. We've got a lot of great people on the team. I'm really excited to be running the team and going with it. We're doing lots of exciting things, and I don't know if all of you have seen, but we did the announcement just now with HTC. So that's a big phone manufacturer that has developed a smartphone with a Bitcoin.com wallet integrated with their hardware wallet on the actual phone itself. It's a super cool phone, and yeah, we're excited to today announce that phone, and there's going to be more coming in the future. This is a partnership where we're looking forward to developing a lot of new products, a lot of new features and services that will allow people to pay and do transactions. So that's really what we're looking for. The advantage that this brings to everybody is all of a sudden you have the bank on your phone, and you at the same time are the CEO. So not only do you have an extension of your bank account inside a mobile app on your phone, but actually now you have a full hardware element, the vault, and the safekeeping deposit box on your phone, which you control and you have the keys to, as well as with now the wallet, you actually have all the financial services that you could want, from wealth management to interest earning deposits, to lending, borrowing, and to investing and trading, all at the fingertips of your phone. And that is the difference. And that's what we're excited to announce today. So I think this was the idea behind the event today, was really to Cornelius, I know you want me to send you some BCH, but if you put your address in there, maybe I will do that, but I can't send you BCH without me seeing your Bitcoin Cash address. The idea behind this today is really to try and drive the adoption and awareness for Bitcoin Cash, number one. Number two, the HTC partnership, and to really grow and accelerate the adoption of Bitcoin Cash as a transaction medium. So how can you go out there? I just was downstairs. There's a great Italian coffee shop. So this is not a Starbucks coffee. This is a coffee from Il Bel Paese, which is an Italian coffee down there, coffee shop and delicatessen. And I paid the owner in Bitcoin Cash. So he accepted it on Bitcoin Cash. I did have to get him to download a Bitcoin Cash wallet. And he was super happy how quick that transaction took place. And there were no fees. So no 3% or 5% that he had to pay to the issuer and the credit card company for being able to have his point of sales there. Anyway, I'm going to go into the Ask Me Anything, your chats, because I think the chats are always exciting. Everybody has something to say. And Cornelius, there you go. Somebody did send a wallet, so I have to now try and copy that and put that into and send you some Bitcoin Cash. Let me just try and do that now. I'm going to go here to my Badger wallet in my Chrome browser, and I realize I don't have any money in there, so I'm going to view at my account, and I'm going to send my money from my mobile wallet right here to my Badger wallet on this computer. So I'm going to go to my wallet here, send, scan the QR code, there we go. I'm going to send some money there. Next, it's calculating the fee. How quick was that? Sending transaction. It's signing, broadcasting, boom, it's done, sent, okay. You can see that tick come up there. And is it here? It should be here right about now. Let me just do a quick refresh. And there we go. It's right here, right now, the same amount. So now I've copied that address. Now everybody's going to come and ask for money. That's the whole goal. So I'm not going to give it to everybody. I'm just going to show how super easy it is for me to do this with everybody out there. And I'm going to send you, let's see, I'll just do $10 for now. Maybe I'll do $5 because if I have to send some more out. And then I'm going to confirm. There you go. Did you get it? Can you confirm that you got the money, Quarantine? Anyway, so that was just how simple, how quick it was from my phone to my browser, my Badger plugin in my Chrome browser, and then immediately on to Quarantine. I think I sent it to, yeah, Quarantine Mercier on here. So you should, so fast. There you go. You got it right away. So that's sort of what we're trying to do. And how do we bring that to everybody, as many people as possible? Benjamin, hi, nice to meet you in Switzerland. We're actually in Switzerland next week. There's a big Bitcoin Cash meetup in Zurich on the Thursday, I think it is. I'm not sure if, I think it's the 26th or the 27th, next Thursday in Zurich. So go to meetup.com, and if you're in Zurich, check out. Roger will be there, and I will be there together. And we'll also be there with our COO, Mate will be there as well, and our CFO, Natalia. So big team coming to Switzerland. There's going to be a lot of activity in Switzerland with Bitcoin.com. Stay tuned. Ali, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm super excited to be the CEO. And thanks for the congrats on the HTC phone. We're really excited about that as well. We're looking forward to seeing a lot more about that. And you'll see a lot more news coming forward from us. We've got a number of different activities that we've got planned. This is just the beginning, and it'll be really interesting. And again, Quarantine just confirms that he has received the funds. So great to see that. Cash in Tin Mercier. So there seems to be, ich kann auch Deutsch sprechen. Ich bin ursprünglich ein Schweizer. Ich habe in Zürich studiert und bin in Davos zur Schule gegangen. Ich kann auch Schweizerdeutsch reden. Ich bin ursprünglich Schweizer, aber in Hongkong geboren. Und einfach, ja, in Zürich habe ich studiert, habe gearbeitet und dann bin ich nach China gezögert. So for all of you that didn't understood, that was just giving you a bit of background. I was actually born in Hong Kong. I am half Swiss. I went and did my education in Switzerland. Part of that was in Davos, where I went to school, and then I went to university in Zurich. And so after graduation, I then moved to China and got into the mobile business. And very successfully, we exited out of a venture that got bought out by China Unicom, which is now one of the largest mobile operators in China. That was a super wild ride in China in mobile communications. And I'm seeing exactly that same momentum here in the blockchain and crypto environment, where we can really see the fast pace. How do we navigate in a fast emerging market that is also looking at regulators to govern it, yet still at the same time we're in an environment of uncertainty where we're not quite sure how it is going to be governed and how we navigate in that environment. Yeah, you're right, death metal. Roger is the man. He's definitely really good, fun person to work with. I enjoy working with him, and it's super exciting in terms of how he has empowered me to work and get stuff done. And we look forward to doing much more. I think the velocity at which we can multi-thread in terms of growing across the globe is only going to be more exciting, and that's really what we want to work on. There you go, Annabella Zabo. Vielen Dank, Stefan. Yeah, thank you. The only German chat needs to be known as Schweinshaxe. Okay, I like Schweinshaxe too. I don't eat it regularly, but I like it. Hello from India. How are you doing in India, Sachin? How is it working down there with the authorities? We had a meeting in Singapore the other day, and we met with some 5G technology vendors that are trying to connect sensors inside smart cities. And they were very keen on using crypto in that, but they were not familiar with Bitcoin Cash, and they weren't familiar with crypto, so we educated them down that path. And it was actually really interesting to see that they were very nervous about the authorities, that they had opinions that it was illegal, and they had opinions that it wasn't illegal. You're never sure, because there was a white paper that came out that said it was illegal, then that was discredited, and then it was again put to test, so we don't know where everything's going, but that's exactly the environment that we navigate in terms of trying to understand where the regulatory environment is today, where it will be tomorrow, and how we can get ready for the days where it will be tomorrow. A big role that we have and will have is educating a lot of the regulators, and then also supporting the regulators in terms of how they can use blockchain to be a lot more transparent in their actions, how they can use transactions and display and share information that they're doing. One of the examples I used just the other day in Europe, I think the European Central Bank had just announced that they're going to reduce the interest rates in Europe again further. And then at the same time, they want to do a $20 billion monthly buyback of securities. So what they've allocated, taxpayers' money of $20 billion worth, to use to buy back securities from the market for whatever purposes. Now that brings a lot of questions with it. Who gets to decide which securities, which countries, how many securities do they buy, who do they buy it from, etc. So that would be an ideal scenario. Just imagine they would put the 20 billion in a wallet and disclose the wallet key so that we could then see all of the 20 billion in that wallet on the blockchain. Number one. Number two, anytime they buy a security from somebody using that 20 billion, they should then ask the seller of those securities to put their key out onto the blockchain as well. So we can then see how much money and what securities they have, and then how that transaction is taking place. And who that 20 billion then ultimately gets dispersed to, and what that then gets used for. Does it get used for buying roads, improving electricity distribution, improving educational facilities, building out more IT infrastructure so that all people can access the internet? That would be beautiful to see, and that's something I'd love to educate regulators on how they could do that, and how their constituents should be voting for that kind of transparency and getting insight into how their funds get allocated. I've been meaning to write a Medium post on that, but just never got round to doing that. Can the authorities shut down? So James at the water cooler is asking, can the authorities shut BCH down or confiscate funds, or is it truly decentralized like BCT? So I don't know BCT, but I do know that BCH can't be shut down. It cannot confiscate funds unless they come here and take my phone away from me. Then they'll be taking all my Bitcoin Cash in my wallet here if I haven't backed it up. They would be taking that with my phone. But other than that, they wouldn't have the ability to do that. Crazy for cryptos. How does BCH compare to Digibyte as a currency? Transaction speeds, costs, and overall user experience. Sorry, Crazy for cryptos, but I don't know enough about Digibyte. I do know that they have come to me. I've heard about them from a couple of developers as a cool technology, but I don't know about their transaction speeds, costs, etc. I will have a look about that and get back to you once I've done some research there. What will happen to Roger? Is he no longer the CEO? David Bernson. No, Roger is no longer the CEO. Yes, that's correct. What will happen to Roger? Roger is now my boss, basically. He's the executive chairman, and we work in tandem together around that, where he's much more focused on evangelizing Bitcoin Cash and the crypto ecosystem, whilst at the same time building Bitcoin Cash related products and services. If you go to Bitcoin.com, our tools page, or you go to our local.bitcoin.com, you will just see some of the projects that Roger has really been driving and enforcing, sort of evangelizing into the marketplace. Super cool projects and super cool products that are now live. One of the things that I think we stand for is sort of code beats PowerPoint. So we generally at Bitcoin.com try to show that we have developed a product. That product is live. It is now here for you to use, you to play around with, versus just giving you a nice PowerPoint presentation or a beautiful MOU written up by some lawyers. It's actually real code, real and practical testing and usability on a website, on a mobile phone, so that you can actually feel it and test it. And we can use that feedback to then further optimize it and improve the user experience. How do you think, so John Buchanan Art, how do you think Bitcoin Cash and the blockchain can help the art world? Super interesting question, and funny you should bring that up. Just before I came into this event, we were on a call with Art Basel. Art Basel is one of the biggest art conferences around the world. They have, I think they have an event in Basel, obviously, Art Basel, Basel, Switzerland. And then you have one in Miami, and you have one in Hong Kong here as well. And so what they do is they have big art exhibitions in those markets. So there may be more news to come from that, and stay tuned on that one. I'll get back to you as it happens. But there's definitely a lot that can happen. There are a lot of interesting projects in the art world as well. So always very interesting and exciting. Here we go. Where are we at now? So Corbin Fraser, where do you see the future of social media and its integration with digital cash? Interesting question, and I think you see some of that happening in some of the websites today where you can do a couple of things. So you can tip using cryptocurrencies. You can upvote using currencies. So there are websites, and even in Telegram, you can share and provide cryptocurrencies and digital cash to people and promote them for the work that they're doing, for the engagement that they have in a community. How do you engage the community and reward them for their engagement? And I think that's definitely something that digital cash can do across borders, no fees, seamlessly, across any medium. And ultimately, how do they then get drawn down from social media into your personal wallet, which you can then take and exchange on a marketplace for an additional currency that you might want to spend at Il Bel Paese for the beautiful coffee that you have downstairs. And all of that as seamlessly as I just demoed, how I moved money from my phone to my Badger browser into I think it was Quarantine's wallet. Seamlessly, easily, at no cost, and super quick. What are my price predictions for BCH in 2020? Sem Osman. I generally don't get into price predictions. I find everybody predicts a price, right? You see it all the time. It's 250,000 by the end of 2019. Whatever number, I just don't get into that. I don't believe that. But my personal belief is that by 2020, we're going to see a bigger uptick and adoption of cryptocurrencies overall. So everybody's going to gain. I think the bigger value is going to be coming from the altcoins and not from BTC. The main reason is if you are transacting, building commercial services on chain, you are actually driving more value for the chain and ultimately building utility for that service, which people want to transact around in a trustless, borderless environment. And so therefore, I also think the attractiveness is outside and in those altcoins. And they can be across the board, from gaming communities, through to art collectors, through to stamp collectors, gold transactors, through trading companies. DeFi is really big at the moment, etc. Personally, for BCH, our goal is to work towards being in the top 3 cryptocurrencies within the next year. So that's where we're aiming and putting a lot of our effort towards. And then we have a term that we call the flippening, which means that at some point we want to see the real Bitcoin Cash become Bitcoin. And how do we do that? And what are we driving towards that? I got into Bitcoin in 2012. And I was invited into Bitcoin by a developer who was in Guatemala, who then asked me to download the Bitcoin J wallet. I downloaded that wallet and transacted and paid for his services. I think I paid like 200 Bitcoins at the time for his services in doing a lot of mobile app development and UX design. And it was a time, it was about $5, maybe it went up to about $100 at the time, I can't remember. But it was great work, and what I loved about it was the speed at which he could receive the money, and the cost was basically zero. So while I was on a Skype call with him, very similar to the transaction I did with Quarantine just now, I transferred it from my Bitcoin J wallet to his Bitcoin J wallet. The same time, the next day, I went to a big commercial bank, one of the largest commercial banks in Hong Kong, or in the world actually, and I brought in a check from a US investor, and I wanted to deposit that and cash that in so that I could pay salaries at the end of the month. The bank said, oh, no, it's not a local bank. I have to go to the New York, it was a New York, Bank of New York denominated check. I have to go to New York, I have to get it validated and approved, and then I have to reimburse that, and that's going to take 5 days to do so. And not only that, it's also going to cost you some $600-700. So that was that experience. Guess which one I preferred and what sucked me into the Bitcoin world. We did a conference, but that was the main reason why. That commerce capability, that seamless transaction, and how can I replicate that, and how can we build and drive that going forward? That's really what I love about this. I also want the new Bitcoin.com sticker. Do you, Mathieu? There you go. We just got this and set this up. We also got new t-shirts. So if you go to our BCH meetups anywhere in the world, they're in nearly any city in the world. If you go, you can be a possible proud owner of a Bitcoin.com polo shirt, t-shirt, sticker, pin, a pen. We have a lot of opportunities for you if you attend those meetups. Mexi, does Roger own Bitcoin.com? I won't answer that question. We're a privately held company, and then we have the privilege of not sharing that. I'll let you ask Roger that question himself. But we're incorporated in a country which I won't disclose on this site because it's only for sharing at a future moment. Esteban Sa, what is your opinion of Web of Trust? Any ideas around this? Web of trust. What? I don't know what you mean. Maybe Esteban, can you explain a bit further? Or does anybody in the chat know what he means? Hey, Mexi, just further to your web of trust question. Yes, there is a meetup in Switzerland, I mentioned earlier, in Zurich, on the Thursday. I think it's the 26th of September. Hang on, let me just check that. Yeah, Thursday the 26th, there is a meetup in the Grain Bar and Restaurant, Zürichbergstraße 71 in Zurich. It starts at, I'm not sure what time, but if you go to meetup.com, you can find out what it is, when and what time it is. But please join us. I'll be there in person, so you can meet me there in person as well. Come to Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Would love to. And I will put that on my list of places to go. It will be in 2020, though. It won't be in 2019, unfortunately. No meetups in Melbourne, Australia? Well, we have a new person running our meetups. 2 people, in fact. We have Chris Bridgman, who's responsible in managing all of that, and he works very closely with Akane, who was just down in Australia. There was a big meetup in Townsville. They had the Bitcoin Cash City meetup down there, and that was super exciting. Lots of development activity. It was sponsored by Bitmain, of course Bitcoin.com, and lots of other companies were there doing lots of developer activities around the Bitcoin Cash platform using CashScript and other tools, and also lots of commerce. So you could actually go to the coffee shops, the restaurants, the bars, use the taxis, all paying with your Bitcoin Cash. Another super exciting city is Ljubljana, where you can do exactly the same, paying everything in Bitcoin Cash. Who else do we have here? Any news on Free Society? Sorry, Nick Harrow, I don't know about Free Society. Tell me some more. I don't know about that. What are your plans, Sem? What are your plans on BCH and eSports? Funny you should bring that up. It's a really hot topic for us, where we're doing a lot in trying to take the Bitcoin Cash out into the real world. And so in that strategy, we're going into what I call tangential industries, where we get people that are very used to, number one, digital cash, and are very receptive to newer technologies. Where do we find them? And we feel the gaming community is a great starting point, as was the poker community originally in the Bitcoin and crypto world. So how do we engage and embrace the gaming community? Esports. And I think esports is a super interesting area. We've been talking to 1 or 2 of the bigger sponsorship companies in the esports area. We're looking to do much more in the gaming space, and all I can say at this stage is stay tuned. We'll have some interesting announcements coming there. So Wex asks, do you believe that free speech is an appropriate excuse for the lack of moderation of the RBTC subreddit, and do you think that Bitcoin.com mods should be replaced? No, I don't really want to go into that. I definitely, it's definitely a sensitive topic. To be honest, let's face it, we're in the financial services industry. We're targeting the commerce market and the retail transactions. This is a $110 trillion industry. At the moment, the combined market value, including pumps and wash trading, etc., puts the cryptocurrencies, all of the 2,000 different altcoins at about a $300 billion. So it's a tiny proportion of the overall financial opportunity that we have at hand. And that's not taking into account the financial market, which is derivatives and how big that is. That's in excess of the 100 trillion. We can just multiply by that by maybe 10 or 100. I'm not that financial expert. But so for me, the battle is really how do we take the battle out into the markets to convince consumers not to use their Visa and MasterCard, but to use their Bitcoin.com wallet. Pay that merchant with Bitcoin.com. Go to that store and buy your coffee with Bitcoin.com. Go go-karting and pay the go-kart owner with Bitcoin Cash. How do we enable that? How do we drive that? And that's the bigger opportunity for us, and that's where I want us to spend our time. So what are your predictions for mainstream adoption or ATHs? I'm not sure what an ATH is, but my predictions for adoptions are only going to grow. And I think what we're going to see is if the market starts to decline, the stock market, the economy, I think we're going to see a rapid increase in cryptocurrencies. The main reason why is because people are going to lose faith in the currencies that they trust. And remember, the cash that you have is just a simple piece of paper. And all we're doing is trusting that piece of paper has the value that it says it has on there so that I can buy the coffee downstairs at the shop. And the shop is going to respect that value because he knows he can trade that same piece of paper on for the same value. As soon as that trust starts to wane, all of a sudden, digital cash will become more interesting. As digital cash becomes more interesting, what is the difference between a Bitcoin Cash versus a Swedish krona, versus a US dollar, versus a Swiss franc? As everything is digital, it's just about the movement of money, the simplicity of that movement, and the speed of that movement. This is a big change to the way it's going. But you go to certain markets, they live in digital. You go to China, everybody's paying with WeChat Pay. Ultimately, they're still using an underlying bank account or a credit card, but they're still paying in total digital currency. You go to a restaurant, they have a QR code on the restaurant that defines the table that you're sitting at. It links up to a menu on the phone. You then look at the menu, you choose your food items. That is automatically remitted to the kitchen, where the chef then prepares the food. It's brought out to you by the waitress because they know the table number based on the QR code on the table. They also know the price that needs to get paid, which you can then pay through your WeChat Pay by scanning the same QR code. So those are all digital payment. You go to Sweden, again, you have Swish, which has digitized, all the banks have digitized and connected their customers' accounts onto one exchange and made that available on a mobile phone. So the merchants can accept in Swedish krona using the Swish service and application. El Mexi, Bitcoin.com should open BCH betting site. We already do have one. So if you go to games.bitcoin.com, you can actually go and play with cool applications like Satoshi Dice, and there are going to be some interesting new games coming up. October 1, we're going to be launching a suite of new games. Our games team are super engaged on bringing those games and exciting new functionalities and features and entertaining pieces of content to you. So stay tuned, log online regularly, set up your account now so you're ready, you can register, and then you can also get your notifications as to which games are going to be launched as we bring them to market in a timely manner. Mark Tse, BCH needs to bring out EFT cards linked to BCH wallet. This will be easier for grandmas and grandpas adoption to shop. Yeah, we're very keen on doing that. I think for us it's really been a bandwidth issue, timing. How can we manage that with the resources that we have and all the other activities that we have ongoing? But that is definitely a priority, and we're looking to bring that to you early, either before the end of this year or early in the new year. So stay tuned. 2020, download the Bitcoin.com wallet today. Go to the App Store or the Google Play Store, Bitcoin.com wallet, download it, or you can obviously buy the HTC Exodus phone on the store.bitcoin.com. Download the phone and you'll get the wallet integrated in there, and we will be constantly revising and remotely provisioning new updates to your app, so you'll get refreshed and you'll always be up to date on what features we will be having in there and when your grandma and grandpa can adopt and use Bitcoin Cash to shop. We're also working very hard to get shops and merchants to adopt our register app and also be able to receive Bitcoin Cash. So we're launching and improving the Marco Coino app, where you can find merchants that accept Bitcoin Cash. And you will see that we will have close to 100,000 merchants in there by the end of next year, if not more, around the world. So we're super keen to grow that and show to you merchants where you can go and pay for your dinner, go go-karting, have your hairdresser done, go buy a new Apple, buy a new HTC phone in a physical store if you want to do so. At the moment, you're right, Marco Coino only has about 1,600 retail shops. I was just alluding to that. Crazy for cryptos. Thank you for highlighting that. You know, we really want to grow that. We really want to grow that. Online shops that accept Bitcoin Cash today exceed about 100,000. Those are online merchants that accept Bitcoin Cash. How do we now get it into the physical outlets so that when you need to go to that 7-Eleven, that Cowboy super convenience store, or the Migros if you're in Switzerland, or the Safeway or the Spar, that you can pay in Bitcoin Cash. Already today in Ljubljana, in fact, in Spar, I think there's a video on the YouTube channel, so if you go down, subscribe to our YouTube channel, you'll constantly get updates as to where you can find Bitcoin Cash merchants and new outlets and new news as to how you can use Bitcoin Cash. So somebody sent in for WhatsApp. What was here? At Stefan, do you think BCH and BTC each have their own place? BTC competing to replace SWIFT and Fedwire type systems, and BCH competing for regular commerce payments. Look, I'm not going to speak to BTC because we generally have chosen for our mandate BCH as the platform for commerce. We want to see commerce take place, and today Bitcoin Cash is by far the best means to do so. Fast and faster transactions, so really quick. We have at the same time no fees, thanks to the bigger block sizes that are out there. And so we're super convenient to do that. Just the other day, we were in a meeting with a big company that that have payment rails across the whole of Southeast Asia. They were very keen to find out how Bitcoin Cash could help them execute on 100 transactions per second. And Bitcoin Cash can do that. They were at 98, and so Bitcoin Cash can reach that 100 transaction per second framework. I think if they go for more, which if you see more adoption, we'll need to be able to support more. But there was just an announcement on a testnet on Bitcoin Cash. I can't remember the number, but it was on testnet. So take that with a grain of salt. That was, I think, 20,000 transactions per second. Don't quote me. Just look at Twitter. There was some Twitter feed out there. I think Gabriel Cardona just tweeted about that the other day. So I thought it was super interesting to see that volume and that magnitude of transactions. Again, I think every cryptocurrency personally has their own place in the ecosystem. I don't think you would see, I think you'll see more maybe an XRP try to go after the Swift Fedwire type solution. That's originally why I think they set up, but I don't know what others are doing. I see them more as the clearing for banks. And then I see sort of, other currencies serving other purposes. I like how Ethereum has really built out a great developer community and commerce platform in terms of having autonomous organizations and contracts sit on top of the Ethereum platform. However, you can see Ethereum is struggling also from a capacity standpoint with data issues. So I don't know if you saw, but Norwegian Airlines just announced that they're going to accept crypto for all their airline tickets, which is just the first step of companies doing and going down the right direction. The only sad part is that it's a second layer solution. So it's not on the Ethereum blockchain, but it's on a second layer solution, which is unfortunate, but we'd love to see those transactions be on-chain and ideally on the Bitcoin Cash chain because it can handle those types of volumes. Here, I own real estate in the Terry Mac. I own real estate and advertise that I accept BCH as a form of payment. Can I tokenize my rental properties using SLP token? Could the concept work? Understand there are many others. Yeah, look, like you, I have a very close friend of mine. He accepts all his rent payments for his property as well in cryptocurrencies. And he then just does atomic swaps or swaps them on exchanges into appropriate currencies as he needs them and when he wants to withdraw them and use them for purchases. And Bitcoin Cash is one of the preferred. Can you tokenize my rental properties? Yes, I mean, you can surely tokenize your rental properties. And I think you can also then disperse. So if you have properties and you have rental income from that, you can then provide through tools.bitcoin.com, we have a dividend tool that allows you to then distribute that rental income to your token holders. So even there, you can then sell tokens to people that want to buy into your rental properties. And once you receive rental income from those properties, you can disperse them and to the token holders without even any kind of information or associated need beyond them owning the tokens. So they can trade it amongst peers themselves, and you're just distributing it to the token holders. Here, somebody asked me, what is our development priority? I lost that one, but I can't remember who. Here you go. Ramesh Mohata, what is your development priority? We've got, if you go to developer.bitcoin.com, you're seeing a lot of activity there. We have CashScript, we have Bitbox, we have SLP. We're looking to extend the capabilities inside those development tools and make them available for a greater developer community. We've got a lot of interesting activity coming, and soon we'll see more announcements. We've got a really strong team engaged in that environment, and we're working very closely with the Bitcoin Cash community to enhance functionalities and feature sets on the Bitcoin Cash protocol. How can we fight the whale manipulation that James at the water cooler. How can we fight the whale manipulation that is the real reason everyone says they are currently not investing in crypto? The only way to really do that is to increase the transaction volume and the interest behind cryptocurrencies and ultimately Bitcoin Cash. So how can we create more volume in the marketplace so that any whale trying to trade and move and manipulate the market gets diluted based on purely the volume that is across the market? So that's one way to do it. Otherwise, I don't see how you could do that otherwise. At this point, I'm just focused on driving more volume in the market, more transactions, and I think that will help minimize that activity. Hey, John Martins, great, glad to hear. You should register your business on marcocoino.com so people can find out about it, and when they use that app or the Bitcoin.com wallet, they will know about your store. And I'm sure when people are in Luxembourg, they'll come to your business and they will pay in Bitcoin Cash. What else have we got here? We've got Rene Adombi. I want to do business with Bitcoin in Ivory Coast because my people don't know the cryptocurrency. That's fantastic. How can we help? Please ping me, send me an email in the chat and we'll follow up. I'll make sure we get to the Ivory Coast. We have some partners on the Ivory Coast. I personally haven't been there yet. Glad to make it a first trip and have a look further into Africa. A lot of people have been telling me about Africa as a big opportunity, and I think I'd love to learn, find out, and see how we can work and find good partners to work with. So excited to see how we can develop that market. And maybe Rene, you're the right guy we should be talking to. Mathieu, Bitcoin Cash, fast, cheap, reliable. I like that. And as I said, that's how I got and why I'm staying in Bitcoin Cash. And why I moved across from Bitcoin Core. Here, Diesel 294. Stefan, how was the implementation of CTOR and DSV enhanced the BCH network since the split? I don't get that question. Maybe you want to rephrase that and then I'll have a look at that again. But sorry, I don't understand the question. How can I start a bank with BCH? I'm going to get a government loan today. Okay. Good luck, 787-478-6899 on WhatsApp. Yeah, I suppose if you set up a bank, in most countries, you need to be regulated. And then you need what they call a reg cap requirement, which I believe is regulatory capital that you need to keep in your bank. So if you get your loan, you're going to need to keep with that regulator in that specific jurisdiction a certain amount of cash as a deposit to protect the people that are giving you money as a bank. And what happens with that money, I don't know. If it were in Bitcoin Cash and you were working with some of our partners, you could be earning 10% on that. So just to let you know, I don't know if the government gives you any interest for keeping it as a deposit still. Or maybe they use that money to allocate towards the 20 billion to buy back the securities from the financial institutionals that are already approved in the marketplace using your reg capital. I don't know. But that's an idea. Don't quote me on that, but that is definitely, I can imagine that happening after some of the financial crises that we've gone through over the last couple of decades. Where can we find a list, crazy for cryptos, where can we find a list of the 100,000 merchants online who accept Bitcoin.com? There is a website. I don't know it right off the top of my head, but there is a website that gives you a list of all the merchants that accept BCH. and Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. I can't remember it. If I find it, I will look it up and I will post it in the chat and respond to it here. But if you go any site, a lot of sites now with Shopify or Magento, they will all accept, if the merchant chooses to do so, they do have the ability to accept Bitcoin Cash in there. So have a look at that. Official channel, Reddit question. Here we go. Does Bitcoin.com have plans to help push Townsville to a critical mass of Bitcoin Cash users? It would benefit our entire ecosystem if the major players focused marketing resources in these hotspots. Definitely. I think we can't promote Townsville and a city like Ljubljana more. These are Bitcoin Cash cities. How do we help Townsville and Ljubljana really grow and replicate those exemplary solutions to the masses? How do we emphasize that the merchants that have agreed to adopt Bitcoin Cash in those cities really get customers coming in with Bitcoin Cash and wanting to pay in Bitcoin Cash above and beyond the existing crypto community? So we have to go into tangential markets and try to get, maybe we get an invite, an eSports event to Townsville as well. How could we do that? Why don't we work together with the community to bring an eSports event there, for example, and get the digital community to come there and witness it and have a host eSports tournament there and see what that does to drive it. Could we get a poker tournament in any of these cities to try and help drive it? What other events and activities could we do there that will really entice crypto users to come and spend more money in places like Townsville and Ljubljana, so they become poster childs that want to then influence other cities and villages to adopt Bitcoin Cash? What groups or demographics do you feel inspire, influence the next wave of cryptocurrency use? I think I've gone into that pretty much, but I definitely feel, obviously the millennial generation is definitely looking for something new. They love cryptocurrencies. I think that's a demographic. The eSports category is a big demographic. I think those are definitely some of the communities that we're going after. And how do we help other communities engage in this opportunity where they know they're not going to lose 20% in value over the next 12 months? They're not, or 50%, or in some countries, thousands of percents. How do we go to those? And I think those are geographies, right? If you're in Argentina, how do I get into Bitcoin Cash today? Because the government is banning me to access my bank account that is holding foreign currencies. So I would love to have Bitcoin Cash. So that's a whole geographical market that is going to adopt cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin Cash in the future. Another segment could be the cannabis growers in the US that are struggling to find bank accounts. How can we help them move money around, earn interest on their crypto if they have it, so that they can not only earn money, manage their money, they can grow their money, and they'll be able to spend that money. So that ideally, those are a couple of markets and segments where I feel we can go and help drive, inspire them and influence them on the next wave of cryptocurrency. Much better words than I was using. Thank you, Reddit user. Marco Coino application. There you go. Thanks, Stefan. Here on Twitter, what are the business opportunities that people in the Bitcoin Cash community can engage in that can be profitable and can help adoption? So in the Bitcoin Cash community, so I'm not sure I understand that question, but let me give you my interpretation of it. Our goal at Bitcoin.com is to help you manage your cryptocurrencies, grow that asset base and be able to spend in that, using that asset base. So that's our core focus. And obviously the growing element is an area that I think you're referring to be more profitable. I think you can earn interest. You can earn 10% interest on your Bitcoin Cash. So if you go to our page, you'll see our partner, Cred, that is providing you 10% intro. It's 100% secured. It's insured. FinCEN, or I don't know what the term is, but it's insured by the local regulator in the US. You can go to our exchange.bitcoin.com where you can start trading and managing your assets. And inside your wallet, you can start using it to manage, shift it into other currencies as well. Here, another request. Have there been any major life events that have helped shape the direction you've taken in life to get you where you are now? Or is it just the cosmos lining up right? Interesting question. I don't know how to answer that. I don't know if there's been any major life events. I've been an entrepreneur. I believe in family being the highest institution. So governments are important in terms of making sure people don't kill each other. I think family is the important institution, and I think the ethics of a society should be what manages the appropriate behavior in a society, not necessarily law, because we can all hide behind law and we can twist the way law works, but I think it's really ultimately, is it right ethical behavior to transact like that and behave like that? If it's not, then I think that's something a society should deem a punishable event. How that's punishable, I don't know, but it's really around the ethics versus the legality of it. And that really much applies to, I think, a lot of the politicians that we have out there. How can we help them use these tools to be more transparent? And that's what I love. I don't know if that answers the question, long-winded answer. I'm sidetracking. I'm going to go into another question, sorry. Do you have any knowledge about Elipay expanding to other European countries? In fact, I do. So Elipay at the moment is currently the solution. I think they've renamed themselves, called Go Crypto. They're not only in Ljubljana, Slovenia, they're moving their way down all the way to Turkey. So across Croatia into Serbia and then all the way down to Turkey. So they'll be moving across that horizon. They have a 5-pronged strategy in that path, and I think you'll see them already today in Croatia and Serbia. So you can already pay with them in those markets. So they're doing a super job, and we're super excited to be partnering with them. Finsta Lobster, what is the benefit for people to use BCH? What would convince average Joe to use crypto instead of fiat? That's definitely the question. I think the benefit is you don't lose value, so you are in control. It's a non-custodial solution. You have control. Nobody can shut it off and take it away from you. It's yours, and you control how you use it, where you store it, and when to recall it and transact with it. How do we convince people to do that? We have a multi-prong approach where we are on the ground with our BCH meetups, and we hope those platforms can engage users and grow them. And as we build that groundswell, more and more people come into this community. At the moment, I guess, worldwide, my personal guess, unsubstantiated, are maybe 50 to 100 million people are living in the crypto world. We are so passionate, hyper engaged, and in love with cryptocurrencies. That's 100 million people. How do we extend that to 1 billion? When we get that to 1 billion with that same sort of passion, that same commitment, that same engagement, then I think we've broken a tipping point where all of a sudden to get to the next 5 billion after that, is going to be a roll in the water. I think I have a term that I call, man, I'm speaking super fast, sorry, but I have a term that I call it gradually, then suddenly. What does that mean? That means that basically we will gradually get more adoption, gradually, step by step, year by year, more and more people will be coming onto the crypto rails. And boom, suddenly it's going to be pervasive. It's going to be everywhere. You saw the same thing happen in the auto industry, where in, I don't know, when within a period of 5 to 10 years, it went from horse carriages, where people were sitting on horse carriages in New York, and there was one car in the middle. Then all of a sudden, 5 years later, switcherama, and boom, you have everybody in a car and there's one horse carriage left. You see the same in China with WeChat Pay and Alipay. Everybody today is paying with digital payment mechanisms and not anymore using cash. In certain places, you can't even pay in cash anymore. And that grew out of nowhere. It wasn't the China Union Pay with their credit cards. It was Alipay and WeChat Pay that won the market and grew that place, and gradually grew it to suddenly be the de facto standard. And I think we'll see the same in crypto, where we'll just grow, and then all of a sudden we'll be there. How are we doing for time, guys? I think we had scheduled this for an hour. I'll take another maybe 2 or 3 questions, and then I will move on from here. Bloodluster, roost, ... I don't know what that means, but somebody deleted the message, so I guess didn't want to ask that question. What happened to @Bitcoin Twitter handle? I won't go into that. I think there was a change of control there, and I think that's really what happened with that Twitter handle. And there was a significant premium paid for that. Michael Aufidius, do you expect the US to make BCH illegal, and is it a threat to their global control? Look, I think today, if you look at commerce, global commerce, 80% of commerce transactions today are done in US dollar. If you look at the US and the GDP as a percentage of the global GDP, it's 30%. So the US has a lot at stake, and I don't know, somebody was calling it currency warfare, or I can't remember what the term was, but I found it was a great term to define that. And I think if the US bans and makes cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin Cash illegal, I think that will only be at detriment to the US. I think you want to see cryptocurrencies flourish. It drives innovation. It drives new adoption in all these different markets and creates jobs. And that's what everybody ultimately wants. Innovation is what creates jobs, changes things, and what happens in most societies is they sort of close your eyes, that's never going to happen, it's never going to take off, to a fear, stop, don't do that, we're going to ban you, we're going to stop you, to then I don't understand it, so I'm going to block it, I'm going to ban it, to then all of a sudden, now I get it, maybe we should be working something in this area, we should be sponsoring it, we should be promoting it. And so I think those are the 3 stages, and at the moment the US is definitely in the ban stage. But if you see a lot of innovation is actually coming still out of the US, but a lot of it's outside. The adoption is really in Asia Pacific, and the innovation, a lot of it's still coming with with Western economies and cultures. Final question. Okay, here we go. Firstmill.com. Do you think BCH will go 1000x? I won't give you an answer to that, but I'm sitting here, and if I'm trying to influence BCH, I'm heavily invested in BCH, so I'm slightly biased, and so the answer is of course. But you have to do your own research, so please, don't hold me accountable to that. But yes, I believe in Bitcoin Cash, and I think we're here to grow this. If we hit 1,000x, we're all going to be super happy. And even if we hit 100x, we're all going to be super happy. Yeah, definitely like Cash Shuffle and Cash Fusion. Please take a look at those. Those are super areas. Yeah, I mean, it definitely, Bitcoin Cash has gone through a number of hurdles and a couple of challenges to try and keep the engagement going. We've had 2 splits in 2 years, so it's not been an easy journey. But I think we're now on a nice trajectory. We've got a really strong, solid community in Bitcoin Cash. So we're really seeing that adoption. I mentioned earlier the Bitcoin Cash City, the Bitcoin Cash community meetups. You're going to see a lot more activity taking place in those markets. So it's going to be super exciting. And we're going to see more adoption. I think, I'm running close on battery. And I've got 5% left on battery. I didn't charge it. It's 9:10. I think I've been at this for more than an hour. I don't know if you have any more questions. Please continue to write them. I'll try and respond to them in the chats. I'll get back to you some of the points around the website where you can find all the merchants online that accept BCH. And I think there was one other thing. I'll have to look in the recording. That I said I would get back to you on, but I will try to do that. Yeah, I agree with you on BTC. And really looking forward to working with you, all of you, in this community to help grow this ecosystem. The value in Bitcoin Cash is in the ecosystem, and without you and us working together and trying to grow this ecosystem, we won't achieve the 10,000x or 1,000x that you put out there. So let's work together. Please give us your comments, grow the community, be active online. We have so many tools that we're providing to the community at Bitcoin.com. Please contribute, please add. We will share and we will announce a lot of things that share and provide a reward to people that are contributing to the community. We want to appreciate your contributions, and we want to show that to you, and we will be doing a lot more together. Thank you, everybody, and look forward to seeing you in Luxembourg, Ivory Coast, Melbourne, what other countries we talked about. Really hope to grow this ecosystem together with you and seeing you on the journey that we have in front of us. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to cop out. It's 9:15 here in the PM. Thank you, everybody. Visit Townsville, visit Ljubljana, and see you soon. Thank you, everybody. Bye for now.